You're almost ready. Why is this being weird? Okay, so we've done a couple things already. Just in case you forget, I did make a backup copy of all of these files, so don't forget to take that eyeball and turn it off and wait a second. Alright, so we've been doing a couple layer mask reviews, and the big thing with the layer mask is when you're on the layer mask, a black paintbrush will remove the thing. When it's on a normal mode, it will remove the thing, cut through. And a white, whoops, we'll put it back, right? And you know, hopefully, that when you hold the Alt key and click into the layer mask, you can zoom in and see what's on the layer mask. So I can paint on the layer mask directly. I can paste into the layer mask if I want. So in this particular example with the cloud, I can add a layer mask. I can grab the whole image. I can copy it, zoom into the layer mask, again holding Alt, and paste it special right into the same place when it works. Let me try that again. For some reason, it always makes me do it twice. Haven't figured out why yet. And that will also help in getting rid of the background. When you're in the layer mask, you can even adjust the levels. Or dodge and burn. So all of this is a review for what we've been doing over the past week. But with this guy, with our little adorable fox here, things get a little bit more complicated. Oh, excuse me. So with our fox, we can assume a couple things. I'm going to put the layer mask on immediately. We don't need any of this stuff. But unlike the cloud, we don't have a solid background. We have two different colors. We have lots of detailed information in the back. So for doing something like this, if you were using this fox in your digital collage or something similar, you're going to have to be a little bit more creative about how you're going to simplify your life first, and then combine the techniques you might have used for the balloon or for the cloud in order to make this a solid shape, but also keep some of these details that are really important for it. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm looking at this fox is I'm going to add as much contrast as I possibly can between the edge of the fox and the background here. Right? I can do that with color. I can do that with value. It really doesn't matter. So I think I'm going to start my dodge and burn again. I'm going to start on my image. I don't want to change the image at all, but I want this stuff in the back to go away. So I'm going to use a small, soft brush for my midtones. And I just want to see if I can make a little bit of contrast between these hairs and the background. The goal is not to change the fox at all, just the space around it. And I think that looks already a little bit better. I'm going to check my history and see. Yeah, I think that's all right, right? It's not bad. I'm going to look over here and do the same thing, because I think that would be pretty helpful. Just going back and forth. Kind of like that. All right, and let's take a look around and see if there's any other areas that might get confused when I try to dodge and burn this thing. And I think over here might be a little tough, so I'll burn again. There we go. And that's starting to look okay. I'm a little bit surprised how nicely that worked out. So now I don't need any of this stuff, so I'm just going to make my life easier. I'm not even going in the layer mask yet. I'm just going to get rid of this extra stuff. Delete. Excuse me. Make it a little smaller so I can see this better. Take this little guy. Delete. I'm just making it as simple as possible before I do anything. Okay, so now I think it's probably time to start pasting this thing into the layer mask and seeing what comes up. So I'm going to attempt the same thing I've tried to do in one step before. Highlight the whole fox while on the image, copy it. I don't know why it always makes me do it twice, but I'm going to see if it will do it once. Press Alt, click into the layer mask, and paste it special. You don't want to regular paste it because it will paste it anywhere. You want it to be exactly on top so that we can use the existing values to help us mask. So paste special, right in place, boom. Right when we click off, let's see what we got. Not bad. The stuff we want to keep, stuff we don't want to keep. Let's zoom into the layer mask and see what we can do here. So I think I'm going to go back to the same technique I was using before and just burn away the background as much as possible, because I would really love to keep all these tiny hairs. I think that's going to make it believable, especially if I'm using this for a finished digital collage style piece. If I'm using this for a painting reference, I don't really care so much because I can fake that. This is looking a little better. I'm going to switch this to shadows now because I want only the dark parts and not so much the light. There we go. And that is looking pretty okay. And now I'm going to switch to dodge. I want it to be lighter. And I'm going to do the opposite with my highlights. So I want to keep those hairs. If I see I'm losing some stuff, I can switch back to shadows. And you'll notice I'm totally ignoring the fox himself. Everything inside I'm not worrying about yet. So I'm going to go back to burning my midtones because these guys are kind of close. Try to keep this thing. Make this a little smaller so I can get closer. Alright, so let's pause a second and take a look at what we have. If I zoom out and click out of my layer mask, this part's looking pretty okay. Alright, I lost all the stuff on the inside, but this edge is looking alright. So here's some other things you can do. I told you I don't really care about the inside of this because that's not the edging I need. But when you're done with all of this, let's say that you love the way that this edging with your highlights is working out. And all of this stuff. When you have a thick enough area, which I think I almost do, I might be a little bit pickier and kind of burn this because I caught some green in there before that I don't want. But when you have a thick enough area, you can always switch to a white paintbrush, black blocks, and white keeps it there. So I'm going to make this a hard paintbrush so I don't accidentally get rid of anything. And I'm not going to finish this whole fox on you because I don't think you're going to need all of that information. But when I click off, what you should start to see is that fairly clean edge all the way around. You can easily get rid of that background now without a problem. And if you see a little area that you don't want, like that green, you can zoom in and say, okay, I probably got to burn away that tiny little gray part that I can't see anymore. And you can even do that, well, on your layer mask, so you can see what's happening at the same time. Yeah. All right, so for today, this is probably the hardest one, but also logically probably the most important one, because if you can do this, you should be able to do anything. It's going to take some practice, and that's why we're practicing here before we do it on your finished pieces. Take a shot, give it a try. I'm here to help if you need me. Black blocks, burn darkens, dodge lightens. Alt-click to get into your layer mask.